Good morning. My entire feed is filled up with what happened. YouTube Studio. Boom, boom, boom. Content. Live. And we're going to monetize it. On. Save. Let's see. Maybe I can put up chat. Pop out chat. We'll get this. Copy web address. Morning, Evan. And then we'll go over here. And I guess I can do this. Okay. And we're going to go back over here. And we're going to do live chat. And going to do live chat. Good morning. Okay. And I guess that's okay. Yeah. It's up there. What the hell? While I'm in there, might as well put it up there. I'm going to do some scans. And the wild story. I mean, God, just nuts story. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I gotta turn on my do not disturb. I am all kinds of distracted. Skip. Hit that thumbs up button. Okay, we're going to go into some scans, 4 hour, and we're going to go to market scan. Oh, come on. Didn't mean to hit that twice. Nothing in the core portfolio. Let me see if I have anything in brokerage holdings. No. Let's see if I have anything in covered call ETFs. No. Let's see. Energy names. There should be some. Yes. A lot. How? COP. SLB. SHEL. CHRD. UCO. UCO is up because of OPEC. Spider sectors. Nothing. Let's look at my not owned. Lee. Huh. Let me just make sure these charts aren't like crazy bad. Lee is okay. Fastly, I like it to come back over the 200 day. And SMMT, it's just kind of hanging out there. Let's go to the Dow. I'm going to do a quick podcast Oh, let me make sure. My weekly stock pick I got. Oh, my weekly stock. It's Intel. I know what it is. INTC. Okay, down, nothing in the Dow. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Raw stores. This one's just taking off. I mean, you have an inside afternoon candle. We'll put this one in. Why not? Below from earnings. Let's go to the S&P. COP, AIG. Huh, interesting. That one was T, then NEE. AT&T at 15. God, 15. I mean, look, it started to fill the gap down from their earnings, which it was trading at 14, but still wouldn't touch it. Better places to put your money. Oxy's up 1%. Palantir is up $20.76. PXD is up. And Exxon should be up. Yeah, Exxon's up. Okay, let's go back over to the strategy tester, and we'll take a look at some of the other things. We're going to look at SPY. Boom, 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 boom. God, just okay, I'm gonna hit record because I am gonna go fly through this. Let me go to my Twitter because I had some good posts. Wow. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. Is this real? Ilya. Is that real? Wow. Wow. This even adds more to the story. We're going to pin everybody. OpenAI. We're going to go Sama. We're going to go Satya. And we're going to tag Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA. This even, I mean, this adds even more. God. That's crazy. I mean, just shit is coming out about this, you know. God, morning, Joe. I mean, listen, I do not doubt that Elon Musk right now has made calls to this board and has said, you need something? I'm willing to step in. This is what's nuts is this is, wow. And all these people quoting OpenAI is nothing without its people. Sam has been pushing that. I mean, Satya played this brilliantly, but oh, free AI classes. I'll retweet that. I mean, Microsoft's board right now. I mean, this is just, this Netflix documentary is going to be insane. Insane. And what I don't know is yeah, let's go to my profile. I mean, listen, this whether you like Elon or not, I mean, this entire weekend has just been on crazy. So, okay, let me go real quick. I'm going to be right back. I swear it's going to be like 30 seconds. Let me just move you real quick so that I can squeeze out. Okay. Morning, Chris. You just text my parents real quick. Okay. I'm just going to hit record. I mean, let me see if this news article actually updated. No. Let me see. Man, I got to get the latest news. And the latest news isn't even news until it's already, yeah. Okay, this is the most updated article. And even this one is going to get probably old. I mean, let's just go over here for shits and giggles. Let's look at. I did the scans already. We got the thing. Square, huge Square insider buy. 25 million bucks. Has done really, really well. Crude oil's up. Okay. We're going to look at QQQ. I'm going to hit record. Good morning. I'm just freewheeling this one. I'm on early, did the scans, did everything that needed to happen. But let's just talk about the news. I mean, Friday was crazy. Okay. Kind of an insane amount happened on Friday. Tesla short seller Jim Chanos shut down his hedge fund. Couldn't make a go of it, shorting Tesla. Apple, Disney, and others stopped all advertising on Twitter based on some anti-Semitic things that perhaps Elon had put out there. I don't know that it's 100% anti-Semitic. I'm not taking a stance on this. Elon Musk, probably not the most favorite person for you to follow. It's kind of like, I had this debate on Facebook with some folks. It's a personal decision about whether you like Elon or not. I just don't feel like Elon is a hostile, aggressive, or hateful person. I think he makes mistakes like everybody else, and he's under a microscope. And whether his thought process, what his thought process is, I just, whatever. But we had that. Fidelity filed for an Ethereum ETF. Citibank will start mass layoffs this week. That's a huge one as well. The most insane thing, though, is OpenAI and the drama that has been going on since Friday. So I'm going to do my best to basically quantify this. If you're not following me on Twitter, I did my best to try and post everything that I could all weekend. I was waking up. This was better than a Netflix documentary. I was literally waking up at 2 a.m. going, okay, it's West Coast time. What's going on now? And this was nuts. Absolute craziness. So Friday, Sam Altman was fired, and it was after the market closed. Microsoft, which is the biggest partner of OpenAI, got a notification 1 minute before it was public news. Sam then tweeted, I loved my time at AI, blah, 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 very conciliatory. We didn't know what happened. It was a board of 6 people, a 4-person board at OpenAI. It was kids at a poker table, and they thought they won. Essentially, what came out was one of the original founders, Ilya, thought that Sam was going too far with general artificial intelligence. and GAI, I think is what it's called. GAI, I think, is what they discovered. And Sam had made mention of this last week, that they had discovered and made huge improvements on AGI. Well, Ilya is kind of scared of AGI. He said this before in his on his Twitter. So it's crazy. Again, this took everyone by shock, because Sam is the face of AI. Sam is the person that artificial intelligence. Last year, he came out with it. It's crazy, nuts. Microsoft put in $10 billion. Now, they haven't paid cash. We'll get to that. But this article goes over everything, and it's got an update. The story has been unfolding, just crazy, crazy stuff. I've been trying to follow it. What happened after the board fired Sam is that one of his founders, who was the chief of the board, actually resigned. And he said, I believe in Sam. Sam's not doing anything wrong. So, yeah. He said, hey, we're fine. You know, I'm leaving. Then Sam started posting all of these things from other employees saying we're Team Sam. Essentially, it became, okay, Team Sam versus the board. And then what happened was a lot of people basically became Team Sam, including the new CEO that they had appointed. So the new CEO turns Team Sam. By Sunday, Sam posts a picture of himself at the OpenAI headquarters, and he's got a guest pass, and he says this is the last time this happens, assuming that he was in negotiations to discuss returning to OpenAI as the CEO. That was the rumor that was out there. That was it. So Satya Nadella was supposedly pissed, screaming at the board, and upset that this was going on. That they had fired Sam, that they didn't get notice, that they were putting $10 billion into this company, and this board was running out of control. Satya got the people together. Sam posted that picture. Everybody thought Sam was going to go back to as CEO of OpenAI. After that, they gave him a 5 o'clock and an 8 o'clock deadline. The board didn't like the fact that they were going to lose power, and one of Sam's conditions coming back was a redoing of the board. They didn't like that. So they went out and hired a new CEO, the guy who just left Twitch, the founder of Twitch. They hired a new CEO, going behind Satya Nadella's back, going behind Sam's back, going behind the staff that is Team Sam back, and saying, hey, we're just going to hire this guy, and we're going to put out a press release. So that happened. And that was last night. Satya then comes out. We remain committed to our partnership with OpenAI and have confidence in our product roadmap. We look forward to getting to know Emmett as OAI's leader, and we're extremely excited to share the news that Sam Altman and Greg Brockman, together with colleagues, will be joining Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI team. Here's the killer point in this, is that the $10 billion that Microsoft has committed is paid out over a number of times, and they can get out whenever they want. So all of the things that pushed Microsoft stock higher may get pushed back a little because of this drama, but they still have the leaders in place to make it happen, and they have the technology in place to make it happen. So what happens after this? The guy who essentially started, Sam Altman, posts this: OpenAI is nothing without its people. It's nothing without its people. Sam is just posting this morning. Then what happens is Ilya, who basically is rumored to have started this ouster of Sam, posts, I deeply regret my participation in the board's actions. I never intended to harm OpenAI. That just came out 30 minutes ago. So this is continuing to just blow up. I'll have this Seeking Alpha article. You can click in the newsletter if you want to read it. Microsoft stock right now is up 0.37. You're at 371. Looks like, yeah, I say this 386 level. I posted this in the paid newsletter. I think even in the free newsletter. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, subscribe to the newsletter. It's dailystockpick.substack.com. You'll see charts. You'll get everything for free every day that the market is open. The only thing I charge for is the weekend newsletter. But the stock has not been hit. The stock went down after hours on Friday to about, I think it's covered this gap down to 371. It says it's trading at 371. I don't know that I trust 371, but right here in after hours, it's down. You've gotten this button hook. I talked about in the newsletter doing stop losses. One of the things that you want to do, by the way, in stop losses, and I'll do a paid newsletter about this, is there's a stop loss and then there's a stop limit loss. In my world, just like I buy on limit, meaning that when I place an order for a stock, I don't place a market order because I don't want them telling me what I'm going to pay for a stock. I want to tell them what I will pay for a stock. So I always put in limit orders. Just like that, I put in stop limit orders. Because say you have your stop limit at 380 on Microsoft. And you set it, or I'm sorry, let's go to Microsoft. Microsoft here. 371. Say you get a 371. Yeah, it's up slightly. Here's the Microsoft chart. I was on the QQQ chart. But say you go up to 371. But all of a sudden, news comes out and you crash down to 351, which is this support line that I see right here. If you're actually button hooking and you're getting out, I think this stock continues to go up. My stop loss right now is down here at 352. I don't expect it to get loss here. But that's the stop loss. If it does get down there and it follows all the way through to 343 within the same time period, with a stop limit loss, you're selling at 352 or 350, whatever you set it at. With a stock with just a stop loss, if it breaks that barrier, it's going to automatically sell your position, whatever you told it to sell. So you have to understand the difference between those two things. Just understand that just like on the buy side, I do limit orders. I also do limit orders on the front side. So let's see where we're at with QQQ. Hold on. Let me get the dog. What? Stop. Why are you crying? And I know what would happen here. You would have pushed over that damn light. Okay. Morning, William. Okay, I'm going to hit record again. So QQQ, where are we? What are we doing? This is what I was looking at before when I thought it was Microsoft. It was QQQ. I posted this before. This is the all-time high at around 410 right here. You were 5% above this when we started, November 14th, and we took a leg up last week on November 14th. You're 5% above that. You're 5% below that. You're just kind of putting in this capitulation and this little, resistance. I would say it's resistance until you get above this. I don't think we start to fill up to the all-time highs. So right now, and I've posted this before, you've got a MACD kind of crossing down. You've got an RSI that's oversold at 76. I would be very, very careful in this market. You are in a holiday week. Trading is supposed to be light. We will go over why it won't be light, but trading is supposed to be light. And the markets are closed Thursday, and I think we have a half day on Wednesday. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy week, but understand I don't usually trade on this week. But understand that this could be a nutso week. What I'm going to post in the newsletter, the top 10 stocks in the stock market based on market cap. I'll put that picture in. I am also putting in, TrendSpider put out a divergence cheat sheet about strong divergence, weak divergence, medium divergence, hidden divergence, strong. And it's a cheat sheet as to, hey, let's play the market. one of the other things that TrendSpider put out is that AVGO Broadcom, and I'll include the picture in the newsletter, but on the daily, they have a cup and handle pattern. And this is breaking out into all-time highs. This is Broadcom, solid Broadcom. I mean, Broadcom's just a solid company. But since we broke out to all-time highs, you do have a cup and handle pattern. So I'll include that in the newsletter as well. A couple of stocks that I wanted to point out. Coinbase is over 100 again. This one, solid gains again. The algorithm has you in at 77 here, right before earnings on November 1st. If you're in this, that's a solid, 30% gain? Let's see. If you got in at 77.15, you are up. That's a solid 32% gain right there. And you're over 100. So if it holds 100, I think you're getting back into this territory of 112, 113, somewhere in that neighborhood. Do not underestimate the power of coin. Clark. Yeah, they're going over the OpenAI stuff on CNBC. But do not underestimate if we get that Bitcoin ETF, the spot Bitcoin ETF. Do not underestimate the power of that one with coin, with Mara. Mara right now is at $10.26. You had the opportunity to buy it again under 10 for the past couple of days. It's over 10 again. It's at $10.26. Go ahead and buy it. So Palantir, it is up. I get a lot of questions about, don't you regret selling something if it's up after you've actually sold it? No, it's at $20.81. Do I regret selling it at $20? Nope. Not one bit. Took my profit. I made like 40% on this one. I will get back in. I should have gotten back in when it got under 20. But do I expect it to continue to rise? Yes. And the reason I expect it to continue to rise is because you have continued confirmation. You can see right here. I'm going to remove all of these annotations. Right here, over that green line, you have confirmation over that green line. That green line is the 9-day EMA. That's what I typically use for confirmation. You can use a 5-day, you can use a 6-day, you can use whatever you want. I use 9. My system is 9. And so I expect it to continue to rise. I just wanted to take my 40% profit. I don't know what's going to happen this week with a shortened week. But Palantir, I wanted to take my time with that one. Zoom, I think Zoom, do they report earnings this morning? Or are they after the bell today? Let's see. They have earnings post-market today. Zoom, under the 200-day. I would expect this one with decent results to bounce back to 70. I think this is a decent play if you want to play this one. I don't, the problem that Zoom has is nobody wants to buy them. Their valuation is still high. PE of 142. Average target price, 81. Most recently, look at this, Citigroup, sell to neutral. Their target price remains at 66. You're trading at $64. So that's a nice 3% gain if you want it. The growth rate is the issue. If they're still growing, super fantastic. Here's I'm seeing this November, they're all selling at 60. It's not crazy amounts. I mean, don't think that this $1 million or this $1.5 million, that's not a lot for these people. Nah, they got tons. I mean, they got tons and tons of shares. They're just selling. Nobody's buying. So if you want to play this one, kudos to you. I just think, when you try and find a trend on this, if we go long term, I don't think you've bucked that downward trend. Look, you just started your 200-day. You are well below that 200-day, but the valuation is the problem. If we pull this back to all-time highs here in October 2020, and we look at the volume levels, we're at the levels that volume is at. It's not like these people up here are looking to get. These are people that are just buyers and holders. And you don't have confirmation. So Zoom, I would take a little bit of a step back and just understand you could play it if you want to. Just make sure your stop losses are pretty tight. If they come out with some good news, I'd buy into that one, buy that pop, and just trade it on a 5-minute chart, try and make some money. That would be my thing. Now, let's talk about the big news is NVIDIA tomorrow. Are they going to blow it out? There was a tweet that I put out about, let's see, I think it was Friday, the history of Q3 earnings that NVIDIA has posted. Here it is, history of Q3 earnings. You can see Q3 last year was $5.9 billion. They're expected to have revenues, $16 billion. This isn't the earnings. This is Q3 revenue. They're expected to 3 times their revenue from last year, just last year. If that happens, this stock will probably fly. It's already priced in. Understand, and I say that I don't think I've said this a lot, but I usually say this at the beginning of the year. Whatever your grandmother is going to cook for a Christmas dinner, whether it's meatloaf or turkey, it's already priced into the market. NVIDIA is already priced into the market. The last 2 pops, they got, the street was shocked. I would be shocked if the street gets shocked again. I see the MACD crossing down. I see the RSI at 67. You saw this back at the last earnings. You saw this back at the previous earnings as well. You saw similar chart patterns. I just don't think it's worth the risk. If you have this stock, I'm not saying get out. I'm saying stay in. I'm currently holding. I sold at 505 and 510. I haven't bought back in. I did. I added small amounts, very small amounts down here at 400. When it got to 416, that's when I added small amounts. I didn't do a large buy. I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5 shares. But when I sold significantly more than that. So NVIDIA earnings tomorrow, hugely anticipated. The one I would play is SMCI. SMCI trades with NVIDIA on their earnings. This gap down here, all of these hype up. See this hype up, see that hype up. This hype up was the Q1 earnings of NVIDIA. This rally up and this rally up here was the Q2 earnings from NVIDIA. This is just continued AI. It got down to 260, 288. I say you still have 345 in this. Let's take a look at the valuation. Remember, PE for NVIDIA is 119. Forward PE is 28. SMCI, the PEs are reasonable. Forward PE of 14, PE of 12. Solid, but you are up 251%. I continue to think that this one hits. I am currently holding. So I'm not buying anymore. I am currently holding. But if you wanted to play this one and you haven't gotten in yet and you wanted to play NVIDIA, I would say SMCI is probably the bet. Now, Tuesday, also tomorrow after the bell, we have lows. This one, solid bounce off 187. You're at 203. I just don't see it coming back above this 200-day at 214. Lowe's and Home Depot, you can play them. It's decent. It just doesn't excite me. Also, on Wednesday, before the bell, you have Deere. I think it's pre-market before the bell. Yeah, pre-market before the bell. This one's trading below its 200-day. This one, I would say, with the solid earnings, you can see the earnings last time just brought it down. That was their guidance. If they're doing better than their guidance, expect it to go up. You have confirmation. 375 was the buyer at 384. So play it with what you will. Do what you want. Uber. Uber's down 3% at $52. I don't think that this changes anything. But let's look up Uber real quick because they did announce that they are issuing new bonds. So if we go over here to offer $1.2 billion in convertible notes, that it will bring a stock down. And it's just, hey, in these high interest times, it's going to affect their profitability because they're going to have to pay back those bonds. So that's a little bit hard for, a company that's just starting to turn a profit to do. It's still got confirmation. Even at 52, it broke confirmation. So this one, you might want to put your stop losses in to protect your profits if it's not a long-term goal. You have a high cross down on the MACD probably. Your RSI's at 80. I mean, it was time to come back. I think you come back under 50. I think if you touch under 50 on this, I think you absolutely 100% get in on this. My weekly stock pick. His pick is Intel this week, just in case you didn't get it. But Intel has just been on a tear. I mean, we're talking about back here, October, at the end of October, $35 buy-in. That was right after earnings. I mean, they gapped up on earnings. $33 to $35. You gained confirmation. You went over the 200-day. Your 50-day started turning positive. You're at $43 right now. It's a little bit crazy for me to think that, Intel's at $43. But look at the long term of this. You've probably got 45 in here, some point in time this week. If the algo from my weekly stock pick is right, you may have 45 in this. I think Intel probably is a long-term turnaround. They're getting into the foundry business like Taiwan Semiconductor. Right now, Taiwan Semiconductor is at 99. It got over 100. But I liked Intel stock. I like trading it. I don't like owning it. It's just not a great one. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Here's the algo. I'll show you SMCI, Travis, before I start recording again. SMCI, the algo got you in, I think, at 270. Let's see. Morning, Travis. Algo 260, it got you in. I mean, it's still got you in. If you're not in at 260, I mean, it's always a risk when you play earnings like this. There's always risk. So, but SMCI says, hey, you're in, doesn't have you out. NVIDIA, same thing. I mean, NVIDIA it's even more of a gain on NVIDIA. NVIDIA, you were in at 416 back on November 1st. So, Travis, just get TrendSpider, man. Oh, look at those gains. And the sale's still going on. Okay, let me get back in here. Where was I? Intel. Okay, we were on Intel. Okay. Okay, social requests. Let's see. Tincture Jordan asked me to look at ChargePoint, CHPT. I own an electric car. I understand electric infrastructure. I understand what ChargePoint does. They have no hopes of becoming a profitable company. I have said this many, many, many times. This is a company you don't want to invest in. It was a SPAC that came through, and it shot all the way up to 50. All you had was the EV hype, and this was December 2020. It was 100% just, I'm pretty sure it was a SPAC. August 2020, it kind of came out. This is a trash company. Absolute trash company. The only thing you have to hang your hat on in this is if an actual short squeeze comes about. Right now it's 23% shorted, probably even more than that. The problem with the short squeeze is you have 348 million shares. They are losing 367 million in income per year on this. They only have $300 million in cash. This is going bankrupt. 100% they will have to dilute you by issuing more shares to avoid a short squeeze. So if it does get a short squeeze, expect an announcement. There's no reason to put in this. Tincture Jordan, no reason. Don't do it. I mean, you can trade it on a 5-minute chart. It's got enough volatility that you absolutely could trade it. I just wouldn't go into it. Absolutely stay away from it. There's better options out there if you want, electric vehicle exposure. You could go with Tesla. You could even go with GM and Ford. I mean, come on. There's better opportunities. ChargePoint is just junk. Absolutely 100% junk. Let's talk about scans. Halliburton. We do have, by the way, OPEC is talking about production cuts again. So expect energy. We got some names on the energy spectrum today. Pioneer is up 1.4%. Oxy is up 1.16%. Devon is up 1.41%. It's if you didn't read the newsletter story, it's about supply and demand. That's all this is. Halliburton, $38 gain here. You're below the 200-day. I mean, you're just below the 200-day. Energy has just been a sector that has been horrible. It has not participated in this rally of November. COP, ConocoPhillips, below the 200-day at 114. I like this one more towards 110, but if you want to buy at 114 and it pops, great. I mean, again, this is just about, hey, I'm going to put my line in the sand here and I'm going to start a position. SLB. Last earnings, it was trading at 57, and it's just been up and down since. The only gap is down, so I would be careful. That was probably, that was around this earnings right here. I still like the name. I like it a lot better down here at 52 than I did at 60, but you still don't have confirmation. Your charts right here, it just doesn't look great, but got to buy here, let's say, at 53.26. 53.26. That note was from the last earnings back on October 20th. And look, while the market has gone up, this stock has just crashed. No reason to get in until you have actual confirmation. Shell is another energy name. This one, again, already earnings. The ex-dividend date's gone. 65.87 is the buy. You're up 1.35%. It's 100% just a supply-demand issue right now. Core Energy. This is one that has traded at all-time highs here. It's gone crazy. I just don't see the benefit in this other than somebody buying them. 162.63, that is the buy right now. It's solid chart. If you go and look at a long-term chart, you can't argue. This stock has just been a monster stock. But it's at all-time highs. I wouldn't probably buy it. There's better places to go. UCO, which is a triple levered crude oil. This is a triple levered ETF. 29.21 below the 200-day. Probably gets back up to 32. I mean, again, if we're in an oil squeeze, the price of oil right now, if you ever want to know the price of oil, just go over to FinViz, scroll down to the bottom. It's up 2%. It's at $77. They're talking about that at 90. If that's going to be 90, UCO will go up. Some stocks that I have in my personal watch list that I'm not 100% sure of, but Li Auto, you're in here at 34.90. It's got another cross up. It's just kind of crossing around. You have no real catalyst. Chinese market, this is a Chinese EV maker. I'd buy this one before I'd buy ChargePoint. Honest to God, I'd buy this one before I bought ChargePoint. Fastly. I like this company. I like trading this stock. I don't like owning it. So be careful with this one. This one, the algorithm has you in at 15.15. You're at 17.97. Your 200-day is right here at 18.23. That would be where I think the significant resistance would start. You're at 1806 right now in pre-market. You can see it bounced off right here, kind of came down. Do we bounce off or do we continue up on this one? This one hasn't seen, the same meteoric rise in November like every other stock has seen. It's seen it come down. Your 200-day is just forming up here at 37. This has been a stock that has just slid. Your 50-day still moving positive, and you have confirmation over the 50-day. It's not over the 9-day. I'd be a little bit careful with this one. One where we bought based on an insider buy of $500 billion or something. It was huge. Is SMMT. This has nothing going for it other than that dude buying at like $2 or something. Let's see. Let's see where these insider buys happen. He bought at $1.68. $1.05. I'm sorry. I'm $1.05. So he's doubled his money. It's at $1.90. So he's doubled his $395 million buy since March. Robert Dugan. We talked about this in March. It was $1. Do I expect it to go from 2 to 3? I don't know. I mean, 250 was a tough one here, a tough climb. But he bought at $1. Understand, he bought at $1. Ross Stores, they had their earnings. It's an inside afternoon candle, which is interesting. Right now, you're even at 128. This one is just another cross up. You were in at 116 prior to earnings. So it's just, remember, my algorithm is based on a MACD. So it's just another cross up on the MACD. It's an interesting one. We did get a question last week, social request for AIG. AIG crossed up here, and it's still going. I mean, it's $60.82. Still going. Another cross up. I mean, what another cross up to me means, it's just a secondary bull run. But the RSI is at 66. Am I starting a position in this? Nah, I'm kind of just sitting there. AT&T, which is one that, and the reason these are on the list is because they're in my personal watch list that I don't share. They're risky. Typically, I will trade these things. I will, hold them for some dividends, maybe something of that sort. AT&T is one that I've always expected to come back. I just don't see it coming back. Remember, Verizon Visible is my service plan on my cell phone. AT&T has a cross up. I don't like this chart. I just don't. There's better places in the market. NEE, Nextera Energy. We talked about this one. This one's just been a dog. 56.83. That 200 days moving down negative. The 50-day, ironically, has started to move positive. I still wouldn't get into this one. It's just a cross up. There will be no podcast tomorrow. I am driving. I am driving up north for Thanksgiving. No podcast. Probably no newsletter tomorrow. The newsletter is daily free if you want to pay for it. This was What a Crazy Friday, kind of catalyst. I put everything that was going on there. There's the Jim Chanos. This was free on Friday. Apple and other advertisers stop. Citibank announced that they will let a bunch of people over. This past week's moves in my portfolio, you can see right there. I think this was where the paid portion started. Palantir was my biggest move. I went over Microsoft. I went over DraftKings. I went over Uber. I went over TQQQ stocks coming up this week. I gave my thoughts on NVIDIA, my thoughts and my conclusions. So that's a paid newsletter. If you want the free daily newsletter, again, I don't charge for the daily newsletter, which I give most of my my thoughts and stuff on. You also get my setup on TrendSpider. You get the grade 8 in the philosophy, psychology of being a trader. This weekend, I will probably focus on the stop loss and why I do stop limit versus just in a market limit. I'll probably do that one. But if you have any questions, hit me up on the Linktree. Remember, TrendSpider's Black Friday sale is still going on. This one is $300. I don't have it here. I don't have it listed, but $300. You can get Seeking Alpha, the premium Seeking Alpha, for $50 off using this link. Join Webull. Part of what I showed with the earnings, with NVIDIA, Lowe's, and Deere, that came from Webull. I love their app. I love getting that morning email every morning or alert notification on my phone that says, hey, here's what you have to look forward to. Of course, the newsletter is the Nest link for $20 off your visible service. You can use my link here to buy a Tesla or AT&T Fiber. Savvy Trader, I have 2 portfolios in Savvy Trader. There's a core portfolio. I think Savvy Trader only lets you follow one. The core portfolio are stocks that it's 35 names that I think are solid companies that you can own. So if you want to trade them, you can absolutely trade them. But I think if you wind up losing some money in these, I think these are stocks that they come back and you can own. For instance, Roblox. Roblox is a solid company. It's in the core portfolio. Where is it? Down here. It's at 37. It probably goes down to 32. If you buy it at 37, are you upset that you go to 32? No, you just add more and it'll pop to 40. So I think that's the kind of stock that I want to own, is one where I'm not worried about, a year or 2 years from now. If I buy it, take a stock like ChargePoint. Say you wanted to buy ChargePoint instead of Tesla. Well, instead of Tesla, why would you buy ChargePoint instead of Tesla here at $8 and think that it's ever going to get to $8 again? It won't. Do not look at a chart and think, oh my God, this company is a great company. It's going to get back up there. And if you hear this on the internet, just do me a favor. If you hear somebody on the internet saying that a stock is a great point, the first thing you should do is go over to FinViz. FinViz is free for everybody. I prefer Seeking Alpha to look at some of this stuff because you can actually look at the details. But FinViz, great overview. And if you hear somebody, this is the next Tesla, and they don't have a PE, they don't have a forward PE, they're losing income, and there's red numbers all around, do not think you're going to trade yourself out of this stock. Do not think that a short squeeze is actually happening. So do yourself a favor, understand charts, understand fundamentals, just keep listening, you'll get it. I get so many emails from people about how they're finally starting to get it after listening to me for just a few weeks. That it's very simple. My strategy is not hard. My strategy is to make, short term, I'm sure I'll make money. Long term, I'm even more sure I'm going to make money. So if you have any questions, hit me up. You'll see on the screen, there's chat up there. Ada, Coca-Cola is still going strong. Hope it flies. I'll look at the chart after this. So you guys have yourself a great day. I should be back on Wednesday. If I'm not, make sure you're following me on Facebook. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. Here on YouTube, just make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'll post usually one of the community posts as well if I'm not going to be on. So I try and keep everybody up to date with what I'm doing. Remember, I don't get paid to do this. I don't do this for the money. I do this more for the education and the thank you. You guys are great with your thank yous. I got some really nice comments on this newsletter, in fact. I think it was Damon who wrote to me. I do get private messages from folks, but I think it was Damon who wrote to me. Such good insight into how investors like you think. It's all about the sell side. All you see nowadays are the buy side. And be careful of people who tell you to buy stuff. If they don't tell you to sell stuff, be careful. And the reason you want to be careful is 9 times out of 10, somebody telling you to buy something, they're talking their book. They've invested in this. You hear about pump and dump all the time. That's where you want to be careful. So understand, listen to me for a few weeks. If I'm not your cup of tea, or if you want to leave me a bad review, go ahead. I don't do this for the money. I do this trying to educate people. I do this because I've been lucky enough to have this world where I don't have to work. Supporting the podcast just means I'm able to do this. It does motivate me when you give me even $1 tip. Be generous. I give people tips all the time. Gift me with Venmo. Gift me with PayPal. Gift me with Cash App. It's all there. Send me $1 if you listen. That's all, it's $1. Skip your cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's $1. You can send me a nice little tip as just a thank you. Again, if I make you money. If I lose you money, do not tip me. If you've bought TrendSpider, don't tip me. I get affiliates from Seeking Alpha and TrendSpider. The point is, I'm not going to steer you in a direction that I think is wrong. When I tell you to get TrendSpider and Seeking Alpha for less than $500 for the year, my goal is to get you into a system where you can take a look at the charts and take a look at Seeking Alpha and understand the quant system at Seeking Alpha and understand the alert system at Seeking Alpha. You don't have to buy both. If I had to buy one, I'm buying the charts, but the reason I'm buying the charts at TrendSpider is because I already understand the fundamental stuff. If you don't understand the fundamental stuff, or if you don't want to learn charts, Seeking Alpha at $189 is a fantastic deal. You get so much with that Seeking Alpha stuff. So understand, yeah, I do this for the educational purposes. I'm taking off tomorrow. Don't bitch at me. But if you're going to leave me a negative review, at least give me some feedback. I had a guy post that he was upset that I made a spelling error on my thumbnail from last week. Don't leave me that stuff. He said true stock pickers QC their stuff. Dude, I made a mistake. Shoot me. Whatever. Douchebag. Okay, I'm going to follow up on this AI story. Just remember, ChatGPT, Microsoft wins this. I think you've got at least $10, $15 left in that stock just from this drama. So, okay, take care. Bye. Hey, Ada. Thanks for that kind comment. Let's look at Coke. I think I took them out of the core portfolio, but I do still own Coke. I did not trim the last time it got above 60. I think you're at 60. I mean, honest to God, I think this is a $60 stock. I saw they just sold something too. Let's go over here. We'll go to Seeking Alpha and we'll go to Coke. They just sold some Filipino bottling company or something. We'll go to Coke. Let's see. News. Coca-Cola. Euro-Pacific to buy Coca-Cola beverages, Philippines. Yeah. So Coke is selling it. The reason I took it out, Ada, was this. And this is a very simple look at this. But it's a super, super simple look. When I looked at Coke versus VOO, now this, let's select metrics. We'll just performance total return. We're not going to do price return, but when I look at, we'll do VOO. When I looked at the long term, and I said, okay, and I do this, usually, and Coke was one that was close enough. The past year, it's just kind of diverged. I mean, you can see back here this is a 3-year. When I did this back in December, you can see VOO was greatly underperforming Coke. Now, when I do this year, it's a little bit different. When you look at the 5-year, you can see VOO is clearly beating Coke, and it just hasn't touched it. Now, when you look at the 10-year, look at that. I mean, VOO 10 years, 200%. It doubles Coke over 10 years. So that's why I say, Coke, while I have it in the core portfolio, I just took it out. Same thing with Pepsi. But it's still going. I think it's a $60 stock. And I think if you dip down here to cover this gap at 55, I think you just buy more. Because this is a solid company that should get back to 60. If we go and we look at a weekly, you just got below that 200-day on a weekly. And I posted this because I said, hey, if you break this at 60, this was about 58. If you bought it up here, you get out at 58, and then, you try and time the bottom. I don't think you can ever time the bottom. But if you got out at 58, you bought back at 56 because you broke that 200-day. And this does not spend time under that 200-day. Understand, this just does not spend time under that 200-day. We're going to pull this back here because this on a weekly basis, does not spend time under that 200-day. You can see this was the 2015, 2016 stuff. Then you got 2017. Then you got 2018. It just doesn't spend time under that 200-day. It touches it, doesn't spend time under it. Even on the monthly, I don't think we touched the 200-day on the monthly. No, you use the 50. But the only time it really got under the housing crisis. So I wouldn't expect it to get under there with the housing crisis and COVID. So ADA, I think it's a solid play. Okay, I am getting out of here because I gotta pack still, and I gotta drive. I'm gonna drive all night. Woo! I will talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.